Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. My name is JJ. You're watching Bull, Boom, Bear, Bust. We're back for another report. Now today we're going to talk about the situation that this country is in. We're going to go into more detail on the possible housing collapse that could be coming up very, very soon. We're also going to show you more examples of how desperate so many American people are with massive food lines, this time coming out of Maui. All right, now we're going to try to pick up where we left off in this video, and a lot of people were saying I made some pretty bold predictions in that video. A lot of people wanted me to be more specific and show sources and things like that. A lot of this is just common sense. All right, so let's go back a little bit. Back when the shutdown began, there were many people on YouTube predicting that this was the end of the U.S. economy, that the housing market was going to collapse, home prices were going to plunge. All right, the stock market was never going to recover. This was the end, right? Wrong. We told you the entire time they're going to prop this up. And why? Because they have unlimited money at their fingertips. Unlimited trillions can be pumped into these markets. The banks can be further deregulated, and that's what happened. Right? So even though right now mortgage debt is way beyond where we were at the peak of the previous housing bubble, 2007, 2008 was the peak. Even though that is higher, much higher than it was then at the peak of the housing bubble, banks are still lending. Right? The money is still flowing. You should ask yourself, how is that possible? Right? And just analyzing the individuals that are in control of this economy and control of this system, I said to my viewers back then, I said, no, they're not going to let it collapse. There's, an incentive to keep this illusion propped up. Well, I think that illusion is gone now, and that's why in my last video, I think we're going to see some big things happening here. I'm going to give it 7 weeks or sooner, and I usually don't make predictions like this. I usually don't put timelines on when I think something's going to happen because it is so manipulated. They could keep it going for a very long time if they really wanted to. Even right now, they could kick this can down the road for years. All they would have to do is do massive debt forgiveness. Keep the banks propped up so lending would still occur. People would go right back into debt. They would go out and borrow and spend and lend like Americans love to do. We're consumer hogs here in the U.S. And what that would do, that would make the economy look good because a lot of people are spending money. It's money that doesn't come from anything meaningful. It's not backed by anything. It's just fiat money that they can create out of thin air. But at the same time, it does make the economy look good because of all the spending and consumption. And that creates jobs and so forth and so on. Most of you know this by now. But in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, this is common sense, what I see, connecting the dots, looking at the big puzzle, putting the pieces together, I think we are at a fork in the road. There's going to be either one, the ultimate economic collapse, or two, and these are forks going in very different directions, or two, the ultimate rescue package, debt forgiveness, and monetary system transformation that we've ever seen here in this country for decades. Okay, many people are saying that there will be a collapse, and people have called me a doom and gloomer. I think, no, there's going to be the ultimate rescue package. All right, again, I could be wrong. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, but let's go over some information today. Reuters.com, as pandemic, Lifeline expires, Americans in housing freefall. Folks, we have, and estimates vary between 20 to 40 million people not paying their rent right now. And this article highlights the following landlord, and it says, quote, his downstairs tenants owe him $50,000 in back rent on a 4-bedroom duplex he owns in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Without those rental payments, Hammer has been unable to pay thousands he owes in heating costs, hot water, property taxes. In September, after exhausting his life savings, he stopped paying his mortgage too. All right, so how many millions of other landlords are out there in the same boat? We're talking about smaller mom and pop landlords. They may own a property or a few properties. All right, remember, it's not just the people not paying their rent. This goes up higher and higher. First, you have the owner of the property that does have carrying costs, and many times it's a mortgage payment, because so many investors, quote unquote investors, property ladder individuals trying to capitalize and make that their living, property investing, a lot of them are leveraged. Many people took out loans to purchase investment properties, and on paper it might have looked good at the time. It was cash flow positive. Their mortgage payment, let's say it was $1,000, they can rent it out for $1,500 and they're cash flow positive. Until something bad happens, and a lot of bad things have happened here in 2020, if there's not a massive rescue package, or if these foreclosure moratoriums are not extended, how many millions of foreclosures are we going to see? How many people are going to lose their homes? Landlords losing their investment properties. All right, now there's a couple different ways to look at this. One way is, this is terrible. No one should ever lose their home. No one should ever lose their investment. We need to have unlimited trillions to bail out everybody. Bail out the landlords, free rent for everybody. The other way to look at it is this. The collapse, if it's devastating, which it would be if they let it collapse, maybe it would wake people up. Maybe people would finally realize what a fraud, what a scam this financial system is. And I'm not just blaming the system, I'm also blaming the participants. Americans are some of the most foolish people, in my opinion, on the planet. Not everybody. We have a lot of smart people here, but we also have a lot of people that just do not know what is going on. Right? As long as they get their monthly check, as long as they get their bag of Cheetos, as long as they can sit and watch their movies, most people are happy. People don't care how the system works. As long as they get their belly full of food and they can drink their beer and watch their football games, most Americans are pretty happy. All right, so what I'm saying is, maybe we need to go through some hard times. Maybe we need to hit rock bottom before we can get enough people to wake up to really make a change, make a difference. All right, now we talk a lot about the bankers that are in control of this economic system. We talk a lot about how they do not want to take the blame, and a lot of times they will use events or use scapegoats to allow the system to collapse. And I expect that to play out here in the next few weeks. All right, and I think there's going to be a silver lining. I think once the system does implode, finally enough people are going to wake up and maybe actually look into what led us to this situation. It wasn't just the lockdowns. Remember, this is a debt-based economic system that's based on consumption, and it's a big illusion, and a lot of people have no idea. They believe in this illusion. They believe everything was fine before the lockdowns. Nothing was wrong. The greatest economy ever, right? How many times did we hear that? Well, the truth is about ready to be revealed, and I'm excited. I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of people that get hurt, people that were not prepared mostly. We're not here to save the world. We're just here to try to protect ourselves, try to get some knowledge here to help us through this transition that we're about ready to go through. Okay, a little bit more out of this article here. The day after Christmas, the extended unemployment benefits that have kept 12 million people and their families afloat are scheduled to expire. Then, mere days after that cliff, on New Year's Day, a national ban on renter evictions from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is also set to lapse. Overnight, an unprecedented bill of $70 billion in unpaid back rent and utilities will come due, according to estimates by Moody's. In all, up to $40 million could be threatened with eviction over the coming months, research from Aspen Institute says. All right, now listen to this. The article continues. Much of the focus has been on tenants, but the president of the Kansas City Regional Housing Alliance says more than 40% of the landlords surveyed in her coalition say that they expect to have to sell their units in the coming months due to rental income losses. She added that small landlords are terrified of speaking out for the fear of drawing the ire of tenant right groups who promote cancel rent. All right, so what's going to happen here? Major unrest, millions of homeless people, smashing up everything, setting fires. I mean, how crazy is this going to get? All right, folks, we are going into the bottom of the 9th inning, but this is not just a game. This is people's lives, people's livelihoods, people's shelter, people's ability to feed their family. And just look how unprepared so many people were. People didn't even have food put away for a possible downturn or a possible slowdown or shutdown in this case. All right, let's go over to YouTube channel here. This is Hawaii Real Estate Org, and someone posted this in the comments. Thank you for putting that down in our comments. It might have been the actual creator of this channel, I'm not sure, but either way, thank you for posting this. And this is out of Maui, and it's going to show you miles of people waiting in line to get some food.
And they have been serving folks all morning long here, waiting for this line to die down, but it really hasn't. And it is just a continuous flow of people coming in. So thumbs up to the Citizen Church here for hosting this event, and also please, if you can, donate to the MauiFoodBank.org. Hunter's going to hold the camera here, the phone I should say, as we drive, and give you guys a sense of how long the line is. We wanted to continue to bring awareness to what's happening here on the beautiful island of Maui, because ultimately we still need food donations. We're far from over. The crisis is not over by any stretch of the imagination, and people are continuing to need to eat, go figure. And after 6-7 months of unemployment here, you know, people usually need 2 or 3 jobs just to survive on this island. So basically, to take away those 2 or 3 jobs for 6 or 7 months creates a vacuum in the checking account and a vacuum in the...
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. I'm going to let all of you guys go over there. Please show this channel some love. Hawaii Real Estate Org, and the link down below in description. I want to thank that individual, that gentleman there, for filming that. I believe he's a real estate agent, so he talks about a lot of other stuff on his channel. But we're going through some tough times, folks, and I think a lot of you, again, are going to be shocked at what's going to be happening here in 7 weeks or less, in my opinion. I continue to grab silver. Link down below, SD Bullion, that's where I get my silver. I think once what's going to be happening here in the next few weeks plays out, silver is going to be more valuable than I think a lot of you can even imagine. All right, so I think there could be a lot of damage coming out here shortly, and I think that's going to have a silver lining. I think people are finally going to wake up once they realize what happened and all the lies and manipulation. Or maybe I'm just overly optimistic, but please let me know down in comments. Love to see what you think about it. That's it, everybody, for this one. Stay well, stay safe, stay prepared. Bye for now. Peace.